President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to launch the second phase of Operation Vulindlela this afternoon at the Union Buildings. It's an interdepartmental program that focuses on key economic sectors that need reform. The first phase was launched in 2020 in collaboration with the National Treasury and focused on 5 key areas with a high potential impact on growth and jobs. It included the energy, logistics, telecommunications, water, and the visa system sectors. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo is at the Union Building and joins us now live. Ziyanda, this is one of the President's flagship programs. It's being credited with a lot of what we have seen. We've been told that the economy could have been worse or in a worse off position were it not for these projects. How are preparations for today's launch of the second phase going?
Well, I can tell you in terms of behind the scenes, there's a bit of an upbeat and jovial mood as they launch phase 2 of this Operation Vulindlela, and that's primarily because those in the presidency believe that this has been a successful program of the government, which sees, various departments and state-owned enterprises as well as the private sector coming together to deal with key issues. You'll remember that there have been several work streams and various committees that were set up. There was one that was specifically dealing with transport, energy, and crime and corruption, where they were bringing together all the clusters instead of having, ESCOM operating on its own, the Minister of Electricity operating on their own, and streamlining processes, especially given the COVID-19 pandemic. As you've mentioned, they've been saying that this has been one of the ways in which they've thwarted a real, economic, bloodbath in essence. And so of phase 2, they're saying they'll be looking at 35 sectors where there need to be structural reforms. And this is also continuing with that push to have a continuous dialogue and relations between the governments, the public, and the private sector.
Has the president arrived yet?
Well, we haven't seen the president here at the Union Buildings, but interestingly enough, when we drove into the vicinity, we did see his motorcade, so he is somewhere around here in Pretoria. But certainly we expect that there's going to be a lot of reflection on the first phase of Operation Vulindlela and what we are going to see with the second phase, which also forms part of the Government of National Unity's medium-term development plan, which is looking at the next 3 to 5 years and how to really, jumpstart the economy, especially now that you've had international financial institutions reducing and revising their forecasts. And this is something that you'll know as the National Treasury prepares for the Budget 3.0. That's part of what they've had to take into consideration. Reports from and forecasting from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. So these are things that we're going to be able to hear how in our context in South Africa, in the SOEs that we have within the private sector, how this collaboration is going to work with a very tight budget.
Well, maybe the president was waiting to receive that email from the mayor of Johannesburg, who just electronically submitted, he said, a turnaround plan to the president following, of course, criticism from the president about the state of the city of Johannesburg. Ziyanda Ngcobo live from the Union Buildings, where at about 4 o'clock the president is expected to formally launch Operation Vulindlela Part 2.